So 9 people left Limpopo and went straight down to George. 1 person had to go back to the States, and I went to a small ranch. I say small, it was a 30,000 acre ranch. The rancher's name was Charles. We got down there, Joe introduced us to everybody. It was Charles, his wife, and then Mrs. Pawpaw, me, and Joe, the guide. And Joe was a surrogate guide. Joe's telling us, yeah, there was this guide that was set up to go hunt with you, John, but he found out that you were shooting a bow, and he said, oh, hell no, I ain't going with this guy to sit in no tin can and have some Cape Buffalo come destroy us because this guy's trying to shoot him with a bow. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, Apple is an 11-year-old bull who was out on a game preserve, and he was part of the game preserve for a lot of years, and then this last year, he got really aggressive, and he started fighting off all the younger bulls. But he was to the age where he could not produce anymore. All he was doing was fighting off the young bulls, and he was mean. And then anybody driving through the preserve, he was charging them and scaring them off. So they put him in a pen, and he broke out of the pen. So they darted him and brought him back and put him in the pen. And that's when they called Donnie. So he's in the pen. Donnie says, yeah, I'll take him. I'm sure I can find a hunter that wants him. And Donnie got him hooked up with me, and we're ready to go. Donnie calls me, he goes, we may not get this bull. Apple broke out a second time out of the pen, and he was gone for like 6 months. He had broken into an orchard, and he was out there eating, and the guys couldn't go around him because he kept charging the vehicle. While I'm getting ready to go to Africa, Donnie gets a phone call from these guys out in the middle of nowhere, and they say, hey, there's a buffalo out here eating our apples. And that's how he got the nickname Apple. They darted him again, and they put him on the 30,000 acre ranch with Charles, and he did the same thing there. He started hitting the other bulls, fighting with them, pushing them off, running them off, and hurting them. So Charles had to put him in his own little 10,000 acre pen, and that's about the time we got there. So he had been in that pen for a couple weeks. So we go out, we get set up in the blind. I'm all ready to go. Joe's sitting with me. Joe's got his rifle. Charles says, I'm going to go see if I can see him down there around the feed area somewhere. He comes back about 30 minutes later and he says, hey, hop in the truck. I found him. He says, he's just down at the bottom of this hill. We get out of the truck, we walk over to the edge of the hill, and we look down, and he's laying down with his face away from us. The wind's blowing up the hill at us, and I range it, and it's like 75 yards. And this is a real steep hill. And Charles goes, can you shoot him from here? And I said, no, Charles, I need to be about 25 to 30 yards to have a good shot, if you don't mind. He's like, I do mind, but I guess here we go. We're walking down this real steep hill, just kind of creeping down, trying to not make any noise. We get down to a spot, and Charles goes, what do you think about this? And I ranged, and I said, 33 yards, I'm good with this. And we're right by some yucca trees. Charles says, I'm going to go sit by this yucca. So he's about 7 yards to my left. And Joe stops at the yucca where we're at 33 yards, and I take about 2 more steps down, so I'm about 30 yards. My GoPro won't work because it's so cold, so I turn around, I hand my phone to Joe, and I say, hey, Joe, will you video this? He's looking out over the field, and he's just having a great morning, and I'm looking at him, I'm going, okay, if he'll stand up, I know exactly where to aim, I know the vitals, I know where they're at on this Cape Buffalo. I know I need to make a great shot. I've got a 715 grain arrow. I've got a great bow. Everything's perfect. And behind me, I don't know this is going on until after the hunt, but behind me, Joe's talking to Charles. He goes, hey, Charles, should I throw a rock at him, like spook him and get him to stand up or get him to move? And Charles says, no, don't shoot. Don't move. Don't throw anything. We don't want him to know we're up here. If he sees humans, he's going to charge at us and he's going to kill us. So we've been standing there about 30, 45 minutes or so. I feel the wind shift, and I feel a little bit of wind on the back of my neck. I grab some dirt to check the wind, and Charles is over there to the left of me going, no. He thinks I'm going to pick up a rock and throw it at him. And I pick up some dirt, and I do this, and the dirt's going up, and then it starts flowing down. And so I know, okay, it's time to get serious because the wind's blowing at Apple, and he's going to stand up any second and wind us. And sure enough, he pops up. And he doesn't know what's going on. He smelled something he didn't like. So he pops up and he's looking around. Charles moves to get his rifle on him, and he picks Charles out. And then he realizes there's other people there, and he smells me, and he turns and he silhouettes me. And he looks right at me, and I'm thinking all he has to do is just turn a little bit more broadside, and I got a good shot. Apple turns, he's looking at me, and I hear the bolt chamber into the rifle, and I said, okay, I'm safe. You won't see this part on the video because Joe, when he chambered the round in his rifle, he had to drop my phone. As soon as I knew I was safe, I drew. I've got myself set on the buffalo, and I let the arrow fly, and I just watched it go perfectly into the Vital V. I know it hit heart. I know it buried where it was supposed to be. It went all the way to the fletching, and Apple started to trot up the hill. And I thought, well, he's just going to go up and pass out or lay down, or he's going to go expire. He's going to go finish his life. And I hear, second shot, John, and I come back into reality. I'm like, oh my God, I got to get a second shot at him because he's still up. So I grab another arrow, and I'm trying to knock this arrow, and Apple turns. And as soon as he turns, he's looking right at us, and he's coming right at me. And that's when I'm thinking, oh my God, if I move, I might get shot. So I can't move, but I have to do something. So I start to just barely turn to get another shot off. But at that time, Joe and Charles both shot at him, and they brought him down about 15 feet from my feet. And this was like the most exciting, most invigorating, most scary time of my life I've ever had. And I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did, because Apple was, I'm getting emotional thinking about how freaking incredible it was to have this beautiful animal. He needed to be put down. He was at the end of his life, and now he's going to be part of my life forever. So I hope you enjoy it. We had a great time out at this ranch. We spent the rest of the day there. We had dinner with everybody, and then we headed down to George to meet with everybody else. And that's going to be a fun one. We messed around with Justin a little bit. I took Justin out for a hunt. The rest of the time was an awesome time down in Mossel Bay and down in the Black Mountains of Swartberg. It's just, you guys, if you get a chance to go to Africa, you need to do it. A lot of the groups that I'm dealing with over there are Christian-based groups. So they're dealing with the local Christian-based shelters and the homeless and the needy people. And so all the meat, all the excess stuff that the ranch can't use goes straight to one of those places, a missions kind of group. This is the bow that we shot Apple with. This is one of the bows we will be giving away. It's the Revolt XL set at 70 pounds, 29.5-inch draw. It's fully customizable though, so you can set it to whatever draw length you want. If you want to see how we're giving it away, go over and check out the bow giveaway video where we did a review of all the 2022 flagship bows. Don't forget, click like, click subscribe, hit the little bell so you get notified. Thanks for watching.